Welcome to another Leepa Live Sports Show, where we're here for the fans. It's for the fans, from the fans. Leepa Live Sports Show. Welcome everybody to another show. And with that being said, this will be the very first time we are actually live in two formats. And we just decided kind of spontaneously here that we were going to go ahead and do our show via Facebook this time, as well as at our home of the Leepa Live. So anybody that knows, if you've watched us in the past before, what we do is we do our show on leapalive.com, where there's all kinds of extra features, added features. You can also chime in with us on that. So it's a great thing. So basically, I just want to let everybody know that today, for the first time today, it is the first time we have been on Facebook Live and leapalive.com simultaneously. So it's a great thing for the show today, and we're looking forward to having a lot of fun with that. So, Chris, how are you feeling this morning? And welcome to the Leepa Live Sports Show.
I'm feeling good. I mean, I'm much more ready for the Patriots game tonight than I am the Red Sox. The Red Sox kind of took a little bit of a beating there last night couldn't get to Verlander. But I'm so excited. I'm more excited for the Patriots game than I am the Red Sox game, which might not be good for the Red Sox because they really need to pull one out tonight, because this Houston team is going to be tough. This is the World Series right here, the ALC Championship Series here. Whoever wins this can win the World Series. But I'm here to talk football, man. There's some good games on the slate today. I can't wait for the Bucs game at 1:00. The Pittsburgh-Cincy game.
Let me stop you right there, Chris, because I'm gonna have to make a technical adjustment on the set. But you can go ahead and you can go through real quick with a preview while I'm making this on the games that are being played today. And if you can hold me over like that for a couple minutes, then that's good news. Chris?
I gotcha. So you look down the schedule. We got the Eagles played the Giants, and that game was a horrible game for both teams. I thought the Eagles looked okay, but the Giants are horrible. The 1:00 we got Buccaneers at Falcons, Panthers at Redskins, Seahawks at Raiders, Colts at Jets. That's a game that would be kind of an interesting game. Then you got the Cardinals and Vikings. The Cardinals just aren't very good. The Vikings should be able to run in that game. And it looks like Delvin Cook's going to play some snaps, but not a lot of snaps. So look for Murray to get the ball a lot there. Steelers-Bengals. This is one game we're going to talk a lot about later on in the show. Some of these games are just flip a quarter, and that's one of them. Chargers at the Browns. The Browns are a surprise to me this year. I really didn't expect them to win more than 4 or 5 games. I forget what I had them picked at, but 4 or 5 games probably. They're going to exceed that, and they're really exciting to watch right now. Bills at Texans. I think the Texans just go in there and pressure Allen, and Allen he can't handle pressure. He's a rookie that doesn't do well under pressure, and that's not good for an NFL quarterback. One more game. We got the Bears at the Dolphins. Bears coming off the bye week. Great game against – I don't know if it was a great game against the Tampa Bay Bucs or that the Bucs are just that bad on defense. But Trubisky had, 5 or 6 touchdowns, and the Dolphins, they lost last week. They lost to the Patriots. They're heading the wrong way, and they need to turn their season. If they want to, make the playoffs, they need to win that game. Then we move to the 4:00 games. Rams against the Broncos. That'll be a great game at Denver. Denver's defense has to step up a little bit here against the Rams. The Rams are probably the number 1 team in my book in the NFL right now. Ravens at the Titans. Titans are that surprising team to me. I didn't expect them to do so well. Ravens, I don't know how they do. They're kind of like the Patriots, the second to the Patriots, where the Ravens and the Steelers are always kind of that team that's going to make the playoffs and give you scares. And I don't know how the Ravens are doing it this year. Their defense isn't as good, but they're still making plays. Joe Flacco is one of those quarterbacks that just always seems to get it done, and who he throws the ball and who's running the ball, it doesn't really matter to him. He just seems to win games there. Then you got the Jaguars at the Cowboys. The Cowboys are in that NFC East where every win is crucial to them right now, even though we're only in week 6. I mean, that division, the winner could be 8-8. Then the Sunday night game, the game I've been waiting for.
It's a good game.
Chiefs at the Patriots. I I could talk the full hour about this game. I just think it's going to be that good of a game. Uh, it, 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 well, let's just talk about it later. Don't get me started because we know how I'll talk about the Patriots. Monday night game, 49ers at the Packers. You know, when Garoppolo went down, everybody, the season was over for the Niners. I kind of like this guy, Berhard. He's playing well. He's doing enough to get the job done. He's definitely not Jimmy Garoppolo, but you know what? He's gonna earn himself a job in the next couple of years as a starting quarterback on one of those teams. I think he's making a name for himself. But the Packers and Aaron Rodgers at home, you got to take Aaron Rodgers even if he's 75% or 100% against the 49ers there.
Good stuff, Chris. I couldn't agree with you more on that stuff. So it is an exciting week of NFL football, and part of the excitement about this is that still, which is shocking to me, but still, we don't know at this point, like what's happening with so many of these teams still, and it seems like, and it's not just me saying this, with so many of the people that we're doing our picks with, it's so hard to be able to see where are you going with these picks? Who are you going to pick? Who's going to win? Chris, you remember any time in the past before when you're getting into week 6 where you're still having trouble really, and it's anybody's ball game?
I can't figure it out, man. I've never had a season like this where I could go 12-4 in the games, or I can go 4-12 in the games, and I'm kind of batting about that 500 range just because these games are so unpredictable right now. It's anybody can. It's the parody of the NFL. It's the competitive schedules where you put the number ones against the number ones, the threes against the threes, the fours against the fours, and we're seeing good competitive football every week. The term, I hate the term any given Sunday, but it is any given Sunday.
It is any given Sunday, and especially right now, it's extremely hard for us to be able to predict what's going to happen because the records really don't give you any sense of a prediction, especially with the way some of these teams have started and the way that some that really haven't started. But keeps everybody guessing. I'm feeling bad for you fantasy football players there. Who am I going to start? Who am I going to bench? And some of those fantasy football champions aren't having such of a championship game this year. So, Chris, what is some of the featured? I know you're looking forward to the Kansas City visiting the New England Patriots today, but what are some of the featured games here today on Leepa Live?
I think the 3 games you really have to look about that I think are all flip a quarter type games, I'll call them, is the Buccaneers at the Falcons. 2 horrible defenses. I think Atlanta's offense is phenomenal, but they're 1-4. Then you look at the Bucs at 2-2, and they had a great offense. I don't know that they're as good with Jameis at quarterback. I just don't see it. We're going to talk about that a little bit later again. The other one I said, Steelers at the Bengals. That's going to be a battle for them. And the Bengals have lost to the Steelers, so the Steelers really need to go in there at home and show them that they can beat the Steelers.
Yeah, well,
Chiefs Patriots. That's the next one.
Chiefs Patriots.
We could talk for 4 hours on this. We could talk.
No, we cannot talk for 4 hours on the Patriots, pal.
No, but this is the game to see, John. I know the Patriots are only 3-2, and the Chiefs are 5-0, but this is really for the AFC home field advantage. This game, you hate to say week 6 is a crucial game, but the Patriots having already lost 2. They've got to step up and give KC their first loss. The Patriots almost have to win out to get that home field advantage because you got the Chiefs, you got the Chargers. They're going to be there, and Jacksonville. And even Jacksonville has 2 losses now. So it's anybody's game for that home field advantage.
I'm with you on that. It is anybody's game. And to me, like I said, it's been that way the whole way. But I think that we're going to have some major surprises in the NFL finally coming into week 6 here. And people, this is the time and the chance for these teams to really show who they are, and they can show us that they are who we thought they were. That's what this week's going to be, is who we thought they were, Chris.
Yeah, I look. I'm going to go down the standings right now. AFC East, Patriots and Dolphins are tied for first place. That's no surprise there.
Wait a second, timeout. NBA 20-second timeout. What do you mean that's no surprise? You thought they were going to be tied.
Well, I don't think they're going to be tied at the end of the season. We're only 5 games in. These teams are going to separate themselves. I mean, the Dolphins hadn't played anybody when they played the Patriots. Then they played the Patriots. And
what happened in that game?
The Patriots crushed them.
Okay.
And then who did they lose to last week? Miami lost to Carolina at the last minute? Who was it? I can't remember.
And it's looking a little bit tough for Miami because is Tannehill down? Is he down for this game?
Questionable. I don't know if he's actually playing or not.
Uh-oh, Chris is digging through his notes. That means trouble.
I'm trying to think of who Miami lost to.
That is trouble when he does that. He starts digging through his notes.
It doesn't matter. But let's go through these divisions. Then the AFC North, the Bengals are at 4-1. That's a huge surprise to me there.
That is not a surprise to me.
Yeah, well, you're going to see the Bengals, the Ravens, and the Steelers are in last place in that, tied for last place in that division.
That is a surprise to me. I pictured Pittsburgh to be in a much better position than they are right now.
But if the Steelers, who are playing well right now, win, they're half a game out. I mean, that's going to be a division that's won in the last 2 weeks of the season.
And we talked about it at the beginning of the season. What we talked about was, wait a second, are the Browns this good, or are Pittsburgh that bad? We weren't really sure what we were looking at with that first game there with Pittsburgh and Cleveland.
Yeah.
And come to find out, we were looking at the real deal. We were looking at the real Cleveland Browns, and we were looking at the real Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, and then go look at that. I mean, I'm trying to move through these fast. So the AFC South, the Tennessee Titans.
know I'm not going to let you move through it fast.
I know. Tennessee Titans are in first place at 3-2, tied with the Jacksonville Jaguars at 3-2. Jags having 2 losses is a little bit of a surprise to me, especially since they beat the Patriots. Houston Texans at 2-3. I figured they should be above 500 right now. And then the Indianapolis Colts are 1-4 with Andrew Luck back.
That's sad. That's actually sad. I like Andrew Luck as a quarterback. I haven't been shy about that. I think he's a great quarterback. But they got no defense, man. You can't stop the points coming, and you're in a shootout. And when you get into a shootout, you better hope you have somebody to protect your quarterback. And if you have nobody protect the quarterback, that means he has less time to throw a ball and less time for receivers to get open. You change the whole dynamic.
Yeah, and then we're going to move on to the AFC West. And we knew the Chiefs were going to be good, and we didn't know Mahomes was going to be this good. The question is,
we did get a little bit of inside information from Rocco, one of the Primo brothers, that said this will be the most explosive offense in football this year, and he nailed that one right on the head. Hopefully, we're getting a call in from Rocco today to get some more of his expertise advice on these games.
Yeah, you look at him and
we look at who? Rocco?
No, at Mahomes.
Rocco doesn't go on camera.
You look at Mahomes, and Mahomes is one of those guys where you're excited to watch him, but the film, there's only 6 games out of him of film on him. Our defense is gonna start to figure him out, and this is the week we kind of figure that out because Bill Belichick's had 10 days to figure that out.
He didn't figure nothing out. You'll find that out when the game starts. Did you figure out this guy can throw the ball with his left hand too?
It was a shot put. He called it a shot put.
Call it a shot put. Call it what you will. That's because he's humbled. He's humbled while he's got a 260-pound defensive end chasing him down, and he switches hands in mid-stride. Call it a shovel pass, whatever you will. I didn't see any shovel in his hand. I seen a football.
Well, the one thing I take from that statement, John, is that he's going to be humble. So he's got that going for him because he's going to be humble tonight. With the
you think he's going to be humble?
Yep. He's going to come back to reality. We're going to see that he's not going to score 4 touchdowns a game every game, and he's not going to win every game.
You want my quick prediction? It's a quick one.
Sure.
Okay. There will be a helmet bouncing down the sideline from the New England Patriots side. That's my prediction. That helmet will be one of, I'll just tell you this, okay? If you add his jersey numbers together, you come up with 3, okay? 3. That's what I'll tell you on that. That helmet will be bouncing down the field. I'm a numbers guy.
You think so? You think Brady's going to get frustrated and throw his helmet down on the sidelines?
He'll slam his helmet down on the sideline, and it'll go bouncing and rolling, and they'll play it in slow mo. And he'll be going.
Really? That's
what I think is going to happen.
You know what? I'm okay with it if he does that because he'll get that team fired up. We're going to talk about this game later. Don't get me started because I'll just.
Oh, I'm getting you started. I'm starting you up like a Detroit diesel. Make sure you're nice, ready, and primed and ready to run all day long.
All right, and NFC East, we got the Eagles. I mean, this division is going to be another one of those teams that should be 500. You got the Eagles at 3-3. You got the Redskins at 2-2. Cowboys at 2-3, and the Giants at 1-5.
Wow. Ouch for the New York Giants at 1-5. And I had picked these guys to win the division, didn't I, Chris?
Yeah.
And that was my early season prediction. We opened that studio up in New York, and I got to be around some of the New Yorkers and see their passion for their football team. I seen that they drafted the number 1 pick here with Barkley. Well, not the number 1 pick, but he was drafted, I think, number 2, was he not? 3. Okay. And first round pick, running back. First round pick, running back.
Should have taken a quarterback. Should have taken a quarterback there.
Excuse me?
The Giants should have taken a quarterback there.
What are you going to do? Take a quarterback? So you're telling me the Giants should have taken a quarterback, and they're going to put a rookie quarterback in to stand behind that offensive line? That's going to be real cool for a rookie that's never seen NFL speed before. And you're going to put him behind that New York Giants offensive line.
Is Patrick Mahomes a rookie?
Is Patrick Mahomes standing behind the New York Giants offensive line?
No, but you give him a year to learn the system and learn.
Okay, so then we would still be with Peyton Manning.
No, we'd be.
Eli Manning.
You love calling him Peyton.
We would still be.
Forehead.
And I
got something with the smaller forehead.
I got something to say about this as the show goes on and matures. Are you done putting out the standings here, Chris?
I can't. Well, let's go. I'll go quick. NFC North, the Bears are 3-1, and the Green Bay Packers are 2-2-1. Nobody would have expected that.
2-2. That sounds kind of funny, don't it? 2-2-1.
As are the Vikings at 2-2-1.
2-2-1.
And then you got your Detroit Lions at 2-3. I think they're one of the better 2-3 teams out there.
Thank you.
And NFC South, New Orleans Saints at 4-1. Carolina Panthers.
New Orleans Saints, hang on to your seats over there in that division. The New Orleans Saints are the real deal this year. And I'm telling you, it didn't look like that on their first game, did it?
No, their only losses to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Ouch!
Yeah, so I mean, I think that team might start.
The only reason they lost that game in the first place was because it was a record-breaking game for one Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, he's the best quarterback on that team right now. Did you not want to say that? But then in that division, you got the Atlanta Falcons at 1-4, who's my pick to go to the NFC Championship game.
Ouch!
I just can't figure them out right now. And then NFC West, you got the best team in football, the LA Rams.
It's easy to figure out those Falcons, man. If you cannot stop points, it comes down to your last drive. It's just that simple.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I mean, neither of those teams have a defense in the Bucs and the Falcons.
So, did you run through them? Are we good?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay. There you go, right there. A little rundown of standings at this point. And as you see, a lot of surprises. Tons of surprises. I know right now we're doing something that we typically don't do. And we went to Facebook Live as a preview, which is something I've been wanting to do and to involve more players on the Facebook Live. It just doesn't have the audience we have on leapalive.com. It was the reason why I have not done this in the past. And then today I wanted to do it. And so I decided, let's see if we can integrate two different programs on one. And we went with our Facebook. And when we went to the Facebook, unfortunately, what happened with the Facebook thing is it bumped me off of my leapalive.com, which was totally unexpected. So now we're like a mad train running off of Facebook. But you can't stop it now. The train's running, and it takes 2 miles to stop this train that's got so much speed going. So we're running. And we're cruising. We're riding the wave right now. And that wave right now is on Facebook Live. And we're just going to keep on riding that wave, ride the wave. So, excuse me, anybody that's found us on the Facebook page, if you were like, what's going on with my LeepaLive.com thing going on here? It'll be there later. I promise you that. I have no idea why it bumped me. Actually, it was just something that had to happen for me to, take it to the next level. But we learned very easy and very quick here that we are actually, when it comes to the social media pages, a step above the other networks. I figured that out when I did my breaking news weather report on Michael that cruised through the Tampa Bay area. And I seen the other news channels were actually using iPads and their phones to go live on Facebook. Really? Chris, are we using iPads and phones right now?
No, my phone's right here. You can see we're live. Hey, let me just give a shout out to someone who, my stepson Tyler is a fireman from Pinellas Park Fire Department. And 4 o'clock this morning, we got a call that he's heading up to Tallahassee as a first responder. So shout out to him.
Way to go, Ty. What a stand-up guy Ty is. And I tell you, you're lucky to be having these people that leave their homes and comfort space like this to go and do what they were hired on to do and what they have a passion to do. Go out and help people that need help. So, Chris, he left. When did he leave?
Donna got the text at 4 a.m. that he was on his way up to Tallahassee. And he didn't know late last night that he was going. So he probably really got the call. I think he was on duty last night, and then they just said, hey, we're going up to Tallahassee. And he's the kind of guy that he loves his job, and there was no question if they asked, he was going.
Right, and that's awesome that he's doing that. While we got that moment, I think it's a good time to basically say, okay, let's have a moment of silence here for everybody who's been affected by Michael. There's been some lives lost. There's been some really horrible, damaging. We're seeing the pictures and the videos. So let me just go ahead and get us. Let's just do a short, meaningful 10 seconds of silence. We're thinking about you here in the Tampa Bay area on the Leepa Live Sports Show. Everybody affected with that. And there's a lot of people stepping up. And right now, I'll tell you this, right here in our very own community, Chris, there's been people on Facebook that have been actually doing great things. They've had drop-off points. You can drop off supplies and everything. If you go on Facebook and look, you can find those. There's trucks that are leaving out of the Tampa Bay area. Tarpon Springs had something going on here yesterday. So thanks to everybody on Facebook that actually they go out of their way to put something together, and people are very good at that. There's some people that have missed their calling, but people are very good at being able to pull things together, organize events and things of that nature. But putting supplies together that you think people are in need of and sending them up there in U-Hauls, trucks, vans, convoys of any sort, it's great. And so it was really good for me to see that was going on. And it could have very well been us here in the Tampa Bay and surrounding areas.
Yeah, I was on Facebook the other day, and it was a friend of a friend of a friend type thing, but it was talking about her family was up in the Tallahassee area, a rural area where, it's not as populated. They're not going to have electricity for at least 3 months.
You're kidding me
3
right now.
3 months, just because it's not a populated area. And
so they're the last on the list because of that.
Yeah, and so they're going up there, sending supplies, looking for supplies. So if you see those things on Facebook and you can help out, please try and help out.
Well said. Well said. All right. Let's get back to some of our football talk. We just wanted to put that out there because when you're going through something like that, even on a minimum level like we have here, and I call it minimum level because we've been very lucky, very, very lucky, and we've dodged some huge bullets here in the Tampa Bay area. But even when it's a minimal thing that happens here, everybody can get the sense and understand that the chaos that ensues after that and the beat down of it, and where people get beat down mentally and physically. So anyway, we're thinking about everybody, and we're hoping for the best in quick recovery efforts and everybody that's helping. Congratulations to you. Stand up. Stand up. Ty, right on, buddy. Be safe out there. All right, Chris. So let's get back to some football talk here.
All right.
So
Well, I think we got to lead. I think we should probably lead off with that game on Thursday night, the Eagles and the Giants.
Eagles and the Giants. Eagles and the Giants. Let me scroll through my thing right here. That is a featured game. The Eagles and the Giants happen. And I'll tell you something about this game on the Eagles and the Giants. I myself picked the Giants to win that game. And the reason why I picked the Giants to win that game is because I picked them before the season started. Chris, is that not true that I picked this before the season even started? True?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
I
you
wanted.
did.
Go ahead.
You did.
Yeah, because I wanted to split. I wanted to split on that game. So I figured, okay, if it's going to be a split this season and I expected the Giants to be so much better, I'm taking the Giants to win when they're at home. But just like I said a little bit ago, Chris, it's almost impossible to take a quarterback and put him behind an offensive line that gives you 1.5 to 1.8 seconds to throw the ball, Chris.
Yeah, I mean, you look at this offense. How are they not scoring more points with Odell Beckham and Saquon Barkley having the games that he's having? I mean, I just don't get it. It's got to be the quarterback.
It's not the quarterback, and I'll tell you why it's not the quarterback. Here's why it's not the quarterback.
Why is it not the quarterback?
Because these receivers are not having a chance to finish their routes. So what happens is this. You've practiced a certain way in practice, all right? You're running your routes. You've honed in. I guarantee if we went and watched the New York Giants practice, that Eli Manning is the best quarterback on that team in practice. Okay?
Well, that's not saying
when you
much
go,
for their backup.
It isn't saying anything for their backup, and it wouldn't be saying anything for any other starter in the NFL right now. And the reason why is this. Yeah, Chris, you can change the dynamic of what's going on in this sense and in this way. If you have a quarterback that's faster on his feet and can roll out of the pocket and avoid some of these rushes. But you said it earlier in the program. What's going to happen when you're that quarterback? We've seen this time and time again with many quarterbacks, elusive quarterbacks. How long do they play in the NFL, Chris? How long do they play in the NFL?
Not long.
They don't. You want to know why? You said it before. The defense figured it out. They figure it out, and they will contain you in the pocket. And once they contain you in the pocket and they make you win with your arm, what happens?
They throw interceptions and they get clobbered.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. The only way to change the dynamic right there for right now in the very immediate thing is if you had an elusive quarterback. He'll have a few good games, but what's going to happen when the teams scout him out? They're going to say, wait a second, this guy's rolling out to his right, and when he's rolling out to his right, he's better on the run, and he's better on throwing out of the pocket. What are we going to do? We're going to change our defense and contain him into the pocket. You're going to put an outside linebacker out there so when he rolls out to the right, he's covered. It's just that simple when it comes to defense. But, again, when you have 1.8 seconds to get rid of the ball, your receivers, whether it's Beckham, whatever you got, your receivers do not have enough time for the route to develop. Now what happens? The rush is on. You're getting rid of the ball early. Here comes an interception. That's what's happening in my opinion, Chris. My opinion.
Well, I will say this. You are right. I mean, but look at Tom Brady. He gets it out in that 1.8 seconds, but he does.
Would you rather see Tom Brady play behind that New York Giants offensive line right now?
Never. I don't want Tom Brady to ever not be a Patriot. I don't want Bill Belichick to ever not be a Patriot. But that's coaching. That's coaching. You've got to get.
How do you coach an offensive line to be a better athlete than they were drafted to be? Okay. And if that's the case, are you telling me the New England Patriot way going on that you never want to see Tom Brady play anywhere? So you're telling me it's Belichick, it's not Brady.
So what do you do if they're getting a big pass rush on you and they're getting to your quarterback? You throw quick short outs or you run the ball. They can run the ball. They got Saquon Barkley who's out getting 100 yards a game. But they don't have that short passing game yet that they really need. They do with Saquon Barkley, but he cannot carry this team as a rookie. He's not going to be able to take that kind of abuse for 16 weeks in an NFL season where he's getting all the running carries and he's getting the majority of the passing plays too. They need Beckham to step up. They need Sterling Shepard to step up. I forget who their tight end is, but they need him to step up. They need to give Manning an opportunity to get rid of that ball quickly, whether it's short, quick passes or, they're just airing the ball out, and that's not working for them. You can't just let Odell Beckham run under the ball and catch it because it's not working.
Chris, you're right. Thank you.
I know.
You're saying it the same exact way.
Yeah.
You're saying it the same way, and you're absolutely right. This does go on the offensive coordinator. You're right. If you've got the offensive line that can't hold the defensive line back, these blitzes back, you need to do the quick nickel and dime thing that the New England Patriots have made a career out of with Belichick and Brady. Okay? You need to dump this ball in these short passes. Yeah, Barkley's getting some of those, and that is why he's successful, which is not ironic that is exactly why that he's successful in that sense, Chris.
You know what amazes me? Let's think about this. Me and you are just fans of football. We enjoy watching football.
We're not just fans of football.
But let me get to my point. We're fans of football. We know a good bit about football. These offensive coordinators and coaches have forgotten more football than me and you know combined. They've forgotten more football.
How did that happen? Because they get into these games and they've had you know what they do? They get their playbook that looks like an A&W menu, okay? They get this hard, menu that they have in front of them. They took so much pride developing, man, this play, this play, this play. They get lost on the page of play calling, and they're sitting there going, and they highlighted what they're going to run. They get lost so much that they lose the feel of the game. They're out of exactly what's happening in the game. They should be sitting there with the quarterback in between with their iPad, and they should be going, look, this isn't what we expected. You're getting blown off of the ball over here on the left side. They're coming in, and now they're stacking over there on their right side, and they're going to come in heavy. We got to change this right now. We need to nickel and dime these guys. Right or wrong, Chris?
Yeah. I totally agree with you. There.
I want to go back to something important here that I say. And Chris, and the reason why I'm saying this is because you keep saying that Peyton Manning or Eli, I'll tell you why in a second, Chris, that I keep confusing these two. Because there's something very similar between these two quarterbacks. First and foremost, something very similar between these two quarterbacks. Chris, you know what it is, right?
What is it? Their dad?
They're both Super Bowl champions.
Yeah.
Okay. They both won how many Super Bowls?
Both have won 2, right?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying, Chris. There's something very similar to these two brothers. That's never happened in the NFL before. Probably will never happen again. Okay? And anybody who's lucky enough, I can't use the word luck so much, fortunate enough to win 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, let me say, Chris, since I got you on camera, let me leave you there so I can see your facial expression. You keep saying Eli should not be the starter in the NFL.
Well, yeah, I think he's lost a step. I don't think he has it anymore. As much as I hated it too last year when they pulled him of his streak and started whoever it was, I didn't like that. But I think that coach was right. I don't think they should have gone back to him the next week. I think they should be planning for the future, and he's not the future.
Their backup quarterback wasn't the future. He was horrible. So why would you leave him in there? That's not your future. Well, that's exactly what my point was on that. You took Eli out for a lesser quarterback. That is not anything to do with the future. You took Eli Manning out, a 2-time Super Bowl champion, out, and you put in a lesser quarterback. How is that anything that says you made a coaching decision to win a game?
Well, you've got to give the younger guy the opportunity.
Where's that guy now?
Who was it? Was it Webb who was there last
year? He's nobody.
I think it was Webb who's still there and their backup. But that goes back to my point. Why did they not draft a quarterback? All right, Tom Brady. They can't draft a quarterback. Shush. We know Tom Brady has got another 3 or 4 years in him unless he wins a Super Bowl and goes out on a high, blah, 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 blah. Eli Manning does not have another 2-3 years in him. He's done. And there's no – you look at the tape. He can't release the ball quick enough. He can't make the passes that he needs to throw. Why have him be a quarterback on your team? You need, I mean, okay, yeah, you have him groom the next generation, but they don't have anybody to groom. They need to get somebody, you know what? They need to get somebody in there that can groom it. Trade for Jameis Winston. Take him off our hands. Do something.
That'd be funny. Now you got a guy that panics when he gets in the red zone and throws the ball while he's falling down. Chris, very good points. Okay? Very good points. Let me do something for you here to help this out a little bit, okay? I also want to put something up here just for sakes matter here, because I want people to be able to be fortunate enough to call into the show, okay? And if you want to call into the show and you got something to say, typically we have to register on the leapalive.com site, but obviously I messed that up today, so we're Facebook Live only. And who knows? We could be, I don't got a chance to look right now. We could be on leapalive.com too. But anyway, here's the phone number. I'm giving you the shortcut right now. So anyway, Chris, to that point here, I've put a lot of thought into this, okay? With Eli, who you say he can't make the quick pass, he can't do this, because he doesn't have time to do it. Now, let me go from Eli to his brother, okay, Chris?
I don't want to talk about him.
You're going to have to, and here's why.
Why?
Peyton Manning went off into the sunset, correct?
Yes. He's now doing stupid commercials.
They're actually really good commercials, Chris.
The pizza ones? Or the State Farm or whatever.
Those get to those nationwide are awesome, man. Come on, man.
Yeah, they are pretty good, actually.
They're good.
You know what I mean? He's such a dry guy that he actually does have humor. It's kind of funny.
Yes. Okay. I'm going back to him to make my point for Eli, and here's why, and here's how it goes. The last year of Peyton Manning's career, Chris, was he the quarterback he used to be?
No.
He wasn't?
No.
And if you look at the yards he had in passing and everything like that, was he half the quarterback he used to be?
Half, maybe.
Okay, half maybe. And a lot of people were talking about that, right?
Yeah. I mean,
but he won a Super Bowl being half the quarterback that he was. How did he win the Super Bowl being half the quarterback he used to be?
Because he don't get me wrong, Peyton Manning was that good of a quarterback that half of Peyton Manning is probably as good as one Eli Manning. It's
Eli Manning at this point is better.
Did Peyton Manning win a Super Bowl there for the Broncos? Did he really win the Super Bowl for the Broncos? He gets a ring.
He was the quarterback.
He was the quarterback. He threw the ball. He handed the ball off. He was the starting quarterback.
He didn't throw it very deep.
He was the only quarterback. But their defense won that Super Bowl.
It was also the offensive coordinator that understood and organized it. Because here's what I will tell you right now, and the fact of the matter, why I keep on messing up and Eli and Peyton and everything like this, is that Peyton Manning, as a matter of a fact, not Eli, Peyton Manning was half the man he used to be.
Please don't sing.
Eli,
please don't sing.
I had to put that out there. And Peyton, I'm sorry, I'm not. You weren't half. You weren't half the man you used to be. I'm sorry. Half the player he used to be. Chris, that's what I'm trying to tell you. So with Eli, Chris.
Got to go.
No.
He's got to go.
Eli, if he's had, it's the offensive coordinator that has to go. And that offensive line better step up for these New York fans, I said. Whew, man.
Is an offensive coordinator, and I'm the one that said their offensive play calling is horrible if they can't get him to do it. But he's not the answer for them anymore. They need to move on.
I just made a valid point. The guy that was half the man he used to be, he won a Super Bowl, I said.
It doesn't matter. He's not the quality. He wasn't. Not Peyton Manning. You keep calling him Peyton Manning. His name's Eli Manning. He's not as good as Peyton Manning.
He's as good as Peyton Manning was in Peyton Manning's last year, Chris.
I don't think so. Maybe 4 or 5 years ago he was, but right now he's not.
New York, I try.
Okay.
I tried.
All right, let's go back to that Super Bowl year. You have a quarterback in Eli Manning and Peyton Manning. Okay? They're both on the Broncos. Who starts that game? Peyton Manning, hands down, starts that game.
The reason why I'm going to give you that is in the simple play of this, that Peyton Manning was like a coach and a quarterback at the same time when it comes to running an offense. He changed the game of football in my eyes, Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning was the first one that would go up to the line and start calling audibles, and the coaches let him go. And he was calling 2 and 3 audibles. Remember what defenses did? Defenses actually used to stand
Omaha!
And they would wait until the last minute for Peyton. They would put a trick defense in there, get Peyton to react. It took years for the defenses to catch up to Peyton, if you remember.
But let's go back to that question. All right. We both agree Peyton Manning needs to be the starter. But Eli Manning, he was a better quarterback. He had 2 Super Bowl rings, and Peyton only had 1 at the time.
I'm now starting to see stuff with some of these Facebook people on here, and sorry that I wasn't looking before. John Keelman, keep the train on the tracks. I like that. Easy on Chris. And he says, sorry, Chris. John, hey, if you want to save Chris from some of the heat, then you need to call into the show. And that'd be the only way that you're going to be able to do that.
John, it's perfect for you to call in, John. You got the face for radio. Call in.
Does John have the face for radio?
We all have the face for radio, man.
This is true like that. And that's what happens when you get people that, are not stars. We are fans, and this show is from the fans' perspective, from the fans to the fans. Is that what you say, Chris?
For the fans, by the fans.
For the fans, by the fans. I got to write that one down.
What's Morgan and Morgan? For the people, by the people.
Don't even start talking about that.
That's worldwide.
Leave that on the bill.
That's worldwide.
I know, but
worldwide.
Leave it on the billboards. I don't want to get in trouble from an attorney of all people. Last thing I know is I need an attorney calling up the show. That's my punchline. That's the last thing I need.
And we are live on Leepa Live. Intern Isabel checked it out. We are live.
I know, but here's the thing I want you to check out to make 100% sure, Isabella, is make sure when you look at the Leepa Live, the live feed from that we're actually wearing the same shirts that we are right now. Because I checked it earlier, and I had a different shirt on, and your dad had a red shirt on. That was Thursday night's game.
Thursday night.
If we're
on
a
long show Thursday, that's a lot of long.
We are. Yeah.
Success. We have success.
I mean, guys, I want to tell you how epic this is, and the reason why this is epic. Okay, I said it earlier. We noticed it when the news channels were going live via Facebook. They're using phones and iPads to go live Facebook. I've been streaming live prior to any network that streamed live. Those of you who've known me for a long time, I streamed live for the first time in 2010, years before Facebook or YouTube ever streamed live. So I've got an edge on these guys. We're live on Facebook and live on a website simultaneously, not with our iPads and not with our phones. I have state-of-the-art equipment that I've been using in building sets for a long time. In 2010, when I told everybody that this is what it was coming to, this was before you could stream on your phone, and everybody told me I was crazy. Yeah, I know, but that's besides the point. The point is, though, that it's very exciting for us as we're starting to realize that we're on the top of the curve when it comes to this stuff, rather than just being fans that want to have a show that are at the very bottom and getting outdone by all the networks. It's super exciting to know that we can involve fans, have our own show as fans, and be at the top of the curve of technology where the networks are behind us. That's exciting. Guys, keep it going with your support and everything. We got something that we can really make good and have simple fans. This isn't just Chris and I show right here, okay? It's not. And we have so many more shows to come. People that want to do NBA, come in. I'll run the controls for you. You can host your own show. John over here says, keep the train on the tracks again. John, we're trying to keep it on. More Bear talk? John, are you a Chicago Bear fan, John? John, look, I'm going to do this.
Screen,
John,
come and call in.
John, if you're watching the program, grab a hold of both sides of your shorts, pull them up, and call the show.
Bears at Dolphins. Bears at Dolphins.
Bears at the Dolphins, John. Call the show. The number's in front of you. I'm not going to be able to keep up with you looking down here to what you're saying, John.
If we switch to baseball, he'll call.
Chris, if I...
You caught me there.
Chris, have I ever met John?
Yes.
I have?
Yes.
He was at the game?
No. You met him on a job site with me.
This is John, the contractor John?
Yep. Wood floor John.
John, I got you now, and I put a face to it. I got you now, John.
Now you get my face for radio, Joe?
John, none of us have a TV face here. I'll say, John, you might be a step above me as far as the TV face goes. But anyway, John, if you want to talk, come on, man. We're not going to beat you up. Chris might beat you up a little bit on the show, but I won't. I promise.
I want to talk some Bears. Let's move on to some of these games, though, John. We got...
In closing, it's not Eli. New York, back me up on this and start giving your offensive coordinator a hard time. You've seen his brother when he was half the man that he used to be, half the player that he used to be in the Broncos and gave them a Super Bowl title. If Eli can do exactly what his brother done, they both got 2 Super Bowl wins underneath their belt. Come on, New York!
All right, let's talk Buccaneers Falcons, our hometown team, the Bucs. I mean, John, me and you feel pretty strongly about this.
I had to get a drink of water after that one.
All right. So to me, you look at the Buccaneers, they're 2-2. Should they be 2-2? Hey, they are. Nobody expected that. The Falcons 1-4. Nobody expected that. I think the big story here for me is Devontae Freeman is out of this game. But they did it. He's only played in, I think, 2 of the games, and he only played in week 1 and 5. This Atlanta offense can still put up numbers without him. They've done it with Devin Coleman, and then you've got Julio Jones, you got Hopper, you got Ridley. For Atlanta to win, they need Julio Jones to not just catch the ball for 10 plus catches, 150 plus yards. He needs to get in the end zone, not once but twice, maybe even 3 times, and that'll be his first 1, 2, or 3 touchdowns, whatever he gets. He doesn't have a touchdown yet this season, which is a huge surprise for me and bad for my fantasy football team. On defense, Atlanta needs to take advantage of the Bucs turning over the ball. I expect to see turnovers with Jameis Winston in the game. I'm not a big fan of Jameis Winston. I really think they gave Fitzpatrick a raw deal there. The defense for Atlanta does have defensive tackle Grady Jarrett out and Derek Shelby out as well. Let's talk a little bit more about this of Dirk Cutter. So Dirk Cutter learned of Winston's suspension. He said that he looked at the schedule and Atlanta was a team that he knew he would be starting against. And that's why welcome back Cutter has to go, man.
Chris, did you make that up?
No, we stole that one from Shrek last week.
Oh, welcome back. Week. Okay, Shrek. Where is Shrek?
He's on vacation. He told me he wouldn't be around this weekend.
No. Hold on. We're calling Shrek, Chris. We're gonna call him. I don't care if you're on vacation.
Answer. He won't answer.
Yeah, I'm gonna call. Jill's gonna answer the phone. Jill's gonna answer the phone.
This is the problem I have with Cutter. He doesn't adapt to the situations in front of him. All right, you have a game last week or 2 weeks ago since there was a bye against the Bears and Trubisky, and their defense just did not adjust to it. They didn't rush more. They should have been rushing the passer. They should have been putting pressure on Trubisky. Instead, they were just running wheel routes for touchdowns all day long. You can't have that. You need to make adjustments. And to know going into at the beginning of the season for you to say, Jameis Winston's coming back week 5 or week 6 now against Atlanta. Okay, you don't have him come in against the Bears even though he's live. For them to have that mentality, but then have Ryan Fitzpatrick throw the way he did for the first 3 games, and yeah, he lost to Pittsburgh, but he brought him back in that 4th quarter and had him in that game where they could have won that game. And then to pull him against Chicago, where they were down. He wasn't having a great game, but we've seen him come back in games. That's what he does. You leave him in there. You don't pull him because he's had two bad halves of football, maybe three or four. Actually two bad halves. The first half of the Pittsburgh game and the first half of the Chicago game. But second half of the Pittsburgh game, he had a good game. He could have had a good game the second half against Chicago. You cannot pull him with that sample size of his winning games. You leave him in there. To pull him and go with Winston because he's back is the wrong decision. They have screwed this team up for years to come, because what happens now when Winston has a bad game today? And what are you going to do? Are you going to bring Fitzpatrick back in?
That's the embarrassment, Chris, about the whole thing, is that they didn't understand and conceive the concept of the fact that there was no other quarterback, period, in the NFL and in the NFL history that should have come in that game when you had a quarterback that did something in the 3.5 games that nobody ever has done, record-breaking, high-quality for the quarterback position, and then you made the stupidest move now of all time. You took an all-time NFL record that was still happening, because if he would have done it 4 games, which he very well could have, Chris, he did it in the Pittsburgh game, right?
Yeah.
He did it in the Pittsburgh game, right?
Yeah.
So then why couldn't he come back against this team that, to me, he could have very well come back in that game and done the same exact thing, correct?
Yeah, I mean, look at these scores. I'm going to go to the scores of the Bucs 4 games. They beat New Orleans 48-40. They're scoring points. Their defense.
And what has New Orleans Saints been since that?
Yeah, they haven't lost since then. Okay. Then they go and beat the Super Bowl champions Philadelphia Eagles 27-21. Who won that game? Fitzpatrick.
Yeah,
Fitzpatrick. Their defense didn't win that game. Pittsburgh, they lost 30-27. Did Fitzpatrick lose that game? No, he did not have a good fourth quarter or good second quarter there, because he had a couple interceptions. One of them wasn't his fault. He had a drop ball or a fumble that wasn't his fault after the receiver caught it. So they had 4 takeaways.
The heat is on. They brought the heat on, Chris.
Right. And then they lost to Chicago 46-10 or 48-10. Was that Fitzpatrick's loss? No, their defense gave up 48 points.
And
their
Chris,
defense is horrible.
You're right. And on that note right there, speaking of that right there, the Buccaneers defense is allowing a 77.1 completion percentage this season. That's the highest in the NFL since 1940.
Oh, wow.
Okay?
And you know what? It's going to go up today because they're playing the Bucs.
Yeah. Chris, oh, wow. Oh, wow.
Falcons.
They're playing. The Buccaneers defense, to say this again, this is why I'm trying to tell everybody here in Tampa, anybody who's supporting the decision, I watched it today on NFL.com. They got a guy sitting there in the preview of this game. If you go watch on NFL.com and you hit the preview video of this game, okay, you're going to watch some jockey over there sitting there in his I got to see who this was, Chris. I'm sorry. I need our intern to check this out and tell me who that guy was. NFL.com, Sparky over there that says that Jameis is the better quarterback than he should be. When has Jameis Winston ever broken an all-time record and saying he did 3? Now, Rocco made a really good point on the show last week. Jameis was a record breaking at a point, but he did not do what no quarterback has ever done in the 3 games that Fitz did. And long story short, this guy said,
police record.
Actually, you know what? The better stats Jameis has is his better stats of controversy, of the way he treats women and everything like that. You tell me who you want there at the quarterback position. You want a family guy in Fitzpatrick? Or you want a Jameis Winston, okay, who thinks he can get into an Uber car and grab a girl's crotch, excuse my language, but, you know, listen, I was in a rock and roll band for years, okay, well, girls hula hooping at the front of the... Not once did I ever think I was entitled to put my hands on the girl and touch a girl without asking first. Hey, Can I touch you? Yes or no? Can I touch you? Yes or no? Jameis gets into an Uber car the first 10 seconds he's in there and goes for it. Really?
Yeah, let's start making some picks here, John. Let's who you got in that game?
I have the Atlanta Falcons at home showing everybody exactly what I just said. You're going to have Jameis Winston going back. Hang on a second here while I'm trying to talk to you and I'm getting this glare. I've now got to that age in my 40s that I can't read things in front of me, but I can see far away like an eagle, okay? Like an eagle, the national bird. Jameis is going to show everybody exactly what I'm talking about in case you guys forgot what the record was last year, okay? The reason why our record was what it was last year, and everybody expected it to be this year, not me. I thought Fitz was going to come and do an amazing job and continue to be our quarterback, which would have been for a playoff push, okay? Can I cut the guy a husk? But instead, here's Jameis, and you'll get more of the same that you did last year, in case anybody forgets. You're going to get a quarterback in the red zone who thinks when you're down by 7 that you just can't settle for 3. You're going to do whatever it takes to get a touchdown. So you're going to be falling backwards. Whoa, spin. Here's a Michael Jackson move. Watch me go up on my toes. And then he's going to throw the ball, and it's going to be an interception. I promise you that. Watch the game today, and I will guarantee you're going to see a couple Michael Jackson moves versus a couple of he might even reach down and do the old Michael Jackson. Huh? He might even reach down and do the old Michael Jackson. Huh? Watch the game today. He's going to be... Now I realize it. Now that I even say it with the whole grabbing your crotch thing. He's a Michael Jackson fan, I said, Chris.
You're out of control. You're out of control.
I am out of control today because I'm speaking about something from the fans' perspective. And these fans have passion that they're not afraid to put out because I don't have a network breathing down my neck right now telling me what I can and can't do. We can do whatever we want. We are the fans of the NFL, Chris.
We are. Let's make our pick.
Just to reiterate, Falcons.
All right, who you got in the Panthers-Redskins?
Panthers and the Redskins. Let me back out of where I'm at right now so I can get back to the main grid here and see what I picked earlier. Because I got a lot on my mind right now, Chris. A lot on my mind. A lot's flying through here right now.
I'm gonna try and move you quickly through these picks.
You're not going to move me quickly through these picks, dude.
All right, well, I'm walking out the door at noon.
We got 30 minutes before noon.
Yeah,
that's all. I didn't expect.
We're 45 minutes into the show. No, we're almost an hour into the show, and we've only made one pick.
Is it about how many picks we make in an hour? Is that what this show came to?
Yeah, I want to know what you picked.
That is not what this show came to. All right, Chris, you tell me your pick.
I got the Panthers beating the Redskins. Cam Newton and that defense is too good for the Redskins at home.
Too good for the Redskins at home.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't like the Gruden brothers.
Back to the NBA 20-second timeout here. Oh, my God. What in the world do you have against the Gruden brothers?
I don't know. I think it's because I don't like John Gruden.
Why?
So I think because I don't like
Because John Gruden brought you a Super Bowl to and I know what you're going to say before you say it. Because John Gruden brought you a Super Bowl to the Tampa Bay area. That was a lot of fun. I know what you want to say. You say it.
He did it with Tony Dungy's team.
I knew you wanted to say it. Okay? You what? Did Tony Dungy win a Super Bowl in Tampa Bay?
His team did.
His team was here when he was here, and they didn't win with him.
Well, he was at the Super Bowl.
What happened when Tony Dungy left?
He went on to win Super Bowls with the Indianapolis Colts. A Super Bowl.
Guys, the lights in here are hot today. I don't know if I'm all dressed in black in the light, but the lights are hot in here today. I'm going to have to go over to the Facebook. We should get the intern Isabella to go to the Leepa Live Facebook, and that way she can keep up with comments for us and tell us what's up, because I don't want to leave anybody in the dust if they're commenting that way, even though I've told you you can call the show. Chris, I'll tell you what I'm going to do here. I'm going to go out on a whim here. Okay?
Right.
I'm going out on a whim. It's not really, though. I'm picking the Redskins at home to win this game.
It'll be a good game. It'll be good.
It'll be a good game.
You're just trying to catch up.
I ain't trying to catch up.
Yeah.
I'm trying to pick winners, buddy.
Well, I'm a game ahead of you right now.
A whole game?
A whole game.
What am I going to do? You're a whole game. That's going to be hard to pull off.
And your mojo's off now because Murph was off. Murph went. For those, John hasn't announced it, but Murph went to 5-1.
I'll do it right now while we're sitting here with it. Here it is, right here. Murphman picked the Giants. Okay, he did. He picked the Giants and he fell short. Prior to Murphman picking the Giants, Murphman was 5-0. Okay, 5-0 on his picks. And if you have not yet watched how Murphman makes his picks, you're gonna have to go check it out. You can find out all the videos of it. Go check it out. It's legitimate all day long. Legitimate. Chris, I'm saying it. I said it again. I'm going with the Redskins to win that game, and I'm not shy about it either.
All right. Who you got in the Seahawks Raiders?
Seahawks and the Raiders. Chris, I'm a lot more comfortable with you leading this off. I want to hear your lead off.
When do I get to go second?
When do you get to go first?
Every time it looks
No,
like.
you don't.
Right, so,
I always am the lead.
Right.
You know what? You're right. Actually, I'm sorry. Actually, you're right, Chris. Hang on a second. You're absolutely right.
I'm always right.
You're right on that one. So ask me again.
Seahawks at the Raiders.
Seahawks are at the Raiders. Just because Chris said that about the Gruden brothers, okay? I'm going to stick up for one of the Gruden brothers right now, Chucky, okay? John, with his name spelled exactly the same way as mine. Same way spelled as mine. His name is John, with a J-O-N. Keep it simple. We're not going to refer or compare us to the laboratory, okay? You're not going to the laboratory. You're not going to say, excuse me, I have to use the restroom. There's nobody sleeping in there, and my name is not spelled J-O-H-N, just to clarify that. I am going to pick the Raiders because of one Carr who's coming alive, understanding everything. This defense has to step up, and they're going to. And the fact that they're at home right now in front of Raider Nation is the perfect time for this to happen. I'm looking for the Seahawks, who I'm not very impressed with, to come into Raider Nation and get hit right in the mouth. Chris?
All right. So it is a home game for the Seahawks at Wembley Stadium. This is the game that is in England. I think this game is going to come down to two players one that used to be a superstar for the Seattle Seahawks and one that used to be a superstar for the Oakland Raiders. I think one of these two players is going to win the game for them. You have Sebastian Janikowski now on the Seattle Seahawks. I can see him kicking a last-minute field goal to win the game in an exciting game in Wembley Stadium. But I don't think that's what's going to happen. I can see it happening, but I don't think that's what's going to happen. I am going to go with Marshawn Lynch running the ball for the 6-point touchdown, extra point to put him up 24-23 to end the game.
Wow. Chris, you're throwing scores at it too. Real quick, Chris, I got to remember something that we got other guys in on the picks. We got the Primo brothers. And Detroit Dupes couldn't call in today, okay? But he did leave me his picks. And Rocco, if Rocco doesn't call in, he's going to have to ride his brother's picks here. We told you that. Yeah. We told you that. So, Rocco, unless you want to suffer some of these losses that Detroit Dupes has taken, you still got time, brother. I want to catch up real quick here. So, Chris, you can write these down.
All right.
Okay? Detroit Dupes takes Atlanta. Okay? Detroit Dupes takes Washington. Detroit Dupes takes Seattle. So there's to catch you up right there.
All right, who's he got in the Colts Jets? We'll let him go first.
Detroit Dupes takes the Jets. I'll come right in on this one right now. The Colts are at the Jets. I'm taking the Colts to take that game. Chris?
I'm with you on that. The Colts, and you said Mario has the Jets.
Yes, he does.
Sam Darnold just does not get it done.
He don't.
He just doesn't. All right, who's he got in the Cardinals Vikings?
Cardinals and the Vikings. Let's see. Detroit dupes with the Cardinals and the Vikings. He took Minnesota Vikings on that one. I also, on this game, am going to take the Minnesota Vikings at home. Chris?
All right, now this is a game we could talk about for a little bit if you want to. The Steelers at the Bengals.
Steelers at the Bengals. Go ahead, Chris. Lead me in on that.
You know, the Steelers, I hate to say it, are better than their 2-2-1 record shows. They lost to KC and Baltimore, who are two good teams. They tied to Cleveland. Cleveland, that's a surprise that they tied Cleveland, but nobody expected Cleveland except John. John kind of called Cleveland would be good this year. Maybe not good, but definitely better than they have been in the past 5 to 6 years. Pittsburgh hung tight with KC, and it looked like Antonio Brown and Roethlisberger kind of found their connection again. James Conner's getting the job done at running back. I'm really interested to see what happens to Pittsburgh when Bell gets back, because I'm not sure he won't be a cancer in the locker room if he even does play, or if he's in the locker room just making waves for players. So that'll be interesting to see. Cincy, they need this. They're 4-1 leading the division, but they need this game more than the Steelers do. They haven't beat the Steelers, I think, in the last 6 games. So they really need to show that they can beat the Steelers and take control of the division. It'll give them two games up, 2.5 games up on them if they win it. They've got Mixon back, but Bernard's back. Giovanni Bernard's out. I look for Mixon to have a good game. He's a good catch passes, run the ball back. You can't say enough about Green and Andy Dalton and what they've done. And the Pittsburgh defense isn't as good as it used to be in the years past. So this game is going to be a game that goes down to the last minute, I think. I think the key to the game is whose defense is going to show up today. And I'm hoping it'll be Cincy. I think it'll be Cincy. They've been able to produce some turnovers. And Roethlisberger is the kind of guy that, he's trying to get things done and sometimes makes that errant throw, or he holds the ball too long and gets strip sacked. So I'm hoping Big Ben's aggressiveness kind of hurts him and he turns the ball over here.
Fair enough. And with me, I mean, I look at it like this in the same sense, like what you said, Chris, that the way Pittsburgh started out was a clear and clean example of what I think that the team actually is. And there's a reason why I say that is because first and foremost, when you start looking at this team and you start looking at their league rankings and stuff like that, it's almost embarrassing for them of where they should be and what you would think that they would build up together as a team here, because everybody was talking about Pittsburgh in the beginning of the season. They were picking Pittsburgh to be that team. It was in the conversation, not so much here on the Leepa Live Sports Show, but on some of your bigger network shows and sports shows, that really was the case. They were picking Pittsburgh to be that team that goes into the playoffs, and some of them were picking them to go very deep into the playoffs, okay? Their offense is starting to kind of click, okay? Their defense is horrible. They're not going to stop anybody. The fact that you've got Andy Dalton coming in there, the Red Rifle, coming into town, or they're going into his town, okay, into Cincy, they got their hands full. And since he's 4-1, and Pittsburgh's 2-1, 2-2. So, I mean, to me, when you look at this on paper and you look at how the season has been playing and everything like that, you got to go Cincy in this game all day, every day, Chris.
Yeah, you look at these two teams, and this is a crucial game for them. The Bengals are 4-1, but in their division they're 1-0, in the conference they're 3-0. The Steelers are 0-1-1 in the division and 0-2-1 in the conference. That's not good for tiebreakers when it comes down to it. And the Ravens are playing good football in that division. They're at 1-2, or no, sorry, they're at 1-2 in the division and 3-2 in the conference. So 2 losses in the conference already. This is a crucial game for both those teams. I look at their schedules too. Up next after this week 7, they've got Cleveland, then at Baltimore, Carolina, and at Jacksonville for the Steelers. Those are not easy games. Those are going to be tough games. But then you look at the Bengals schedule, the same thing. They go next at KC, then Tampa Bay, who knows what we'll have there, then New Orleans, and then at Baltimore. None of those games are surefire wins on that schedule, except for maybe that Tampa Bay game. For all those games, even Cleveland's going to play the Steelers tough, I think. I don't think they're going to have another tie. That'd be kind of cool, though, if they did. But these games, I mean, it sounds so stupid to say a Week 6 game is crucial, but in the NFL right now, every game is crucial because of these tiebreakers that we're going to have, the division records that we're going to have, the conference records that we're going to have. You need to win your division games. That's why this game is going to be a good game.
You're right, absolutely right on that one, Chris. And I'll just go ahead right now and tell you that Detroit Dukes took Pittsburgh in this game. Okay. I'm taking Cincy in this game, Chris.
I've got the Bengals.
Okay,
I got the Bengals.
Okay.
All right, moving right along. I'm taking I'm taking Phillip Rivers and the San Diego Charger. I'm bad today. You got me started with your Eli Manning, Peyton Manning. So they're playing the Browns. The Browns are at home, but I'm still going to go with Phillip Rivers. The Browns are improved, but the Chargers are one of the elite teams in the AFC, I think.
Chris, have you taken the Browns this season yet?
Yes, I took them. I think I took them twice. I took them last week and lost, I think. Let's see, week 5 I had the Ravens last week over the Browns.
Just to let you know, Chris, here's what I will tell you right now. The Chargers, okay, are 3-2
over the Raiders.
I'm sorry, say again?
I took them in week 4 and they lost to the Raiders.
Okay, so you took them against the Raiders, but you've taken them against no valuable teams. No.
Yeah, week 2 I took the Saints. And week 1 I would have taken them.
Okay. I want to put something out to you. The Los Angeles Chargers, even though I want to call them something else, they're Los Angeles.
Still call them the San Diego Chargers.
The Los Angeles Chargers are 3-2. They got 2 losses. By any chance, do you know how many losses the Cleveland Browns have? 2.
2 losses, 1 tie.
2 losses.
2.5. 2.5. Ties a half a win.
Okay.
It's not a loss,
but there is 2 losses
not a win,
for
not
this
a loss.
for the Los Angeles Chargers. I'm so sorry, San Diego. I really am. I'm sorry. Okay? I don't know what they have planned for you, but I'm sorry. Are you guys driving to LA? Chris, do you think?
No.
I'm sorry. How? I mean, wow. That's
all right. Who you got in this game? You got the Browns.
I'm taking the Browns. First and foremost, when I look at this and I'm just looking at it on paper, yeah, I see the offense that Los Angeles has, the Chargers, okay? I see the defense that they have, okay? I see the passing they have, okay? But what you got to notice in this game that's very impressive, okay? The rushing game from Cleveland. Being at home, controlling the clock, okay? And having that rushing game is big. I'm looking for Cleveland to improve the record to 3-2-1, okay? That's what I'm looking for. Cleveland needs to take control of their division 100%, okay? And I'm looking for Cleveland to go 3-2-1 today. They're going to win this game.
You know what? I hope they do.
They will.
I'm still taking the Chargers, but I'm rooting for the Browns. I'll be rooting for the Browns in that game.
Okay, Detroit Dukes also took the Chargers in this game. Chris, moving along.
All right, let's go quickly through this one because Bills at Texans.
Bills at the Texans. Detroit Dukes took, let's see, he took Houston. I am also going to take Houston Texans. Chris?
All right, I got the Texans. And we're not even going to talk about this game because Johnny the Bears Kelman didn't call in. I got the Dolphins beating the Bears.
Why didn't he call in? He said he wanted more Bears. Now you get less Bears. Pick up the phone, I said. Yeah, we're not talking about that either. the guys in Miami, to me, are a lot better than we thought they were going to be. They are not who we thought they would be. But I will tell you this, because of the fact that I've seen the problem with Tannehill today, and you know who is leading that Chicago defense, I'm also taking the Chicago Bears on that one. And Detroit Dupes took Miami on that one. Shocking, Detroit Dupes, that you took Miami. I don't know if you knew that Tannehill was questionable or what he was. Maybe you know something we don't.
Tannehill is inactive.
He's inactive. Did you hear that, Detroit Dupes? I don't know who's your backup over there.
Brock Osweiler.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. And then you got Mac chasing him down. Who's that? Really?
I'm trying to decide whether I should change that pick.
Uh-oh.
Nope. Sticking with Miami.
Whew. You scared me for a second. Okay.
Trubisky can beat the Bucks, but they don't beat Miami.
Wait a second. Chris, you took Miami?
Yeah. I took Miami.
Obviously, this guy hasn't been paying attention to what's going on with the defense over there. And when I say what's going on with the defense, I'm talking about the number 2 defense.
Yeah, but I'm talking Mitch Trubisky.
Mitch Trubisky. Sounds like somebody who races cars.
Or throws interceptions.
Whew, there's a race.
Against a better defense than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Against who?
Against a better defense than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Whew. All right, Chris, let's move along here.
Right.
I'm not taking Miami like you and Detroit Dupes. I am taking the Chicago Bears to destroy that Miami offense. Chris?
I got the Rams beating the Broncos.
Rams beating the Broncos. I can second that in a second. I don't even got to look at Detroit Dupes here. Where's he at here? Rams. He's got the Rams. Moving right along.
Ravens at the Titans.
Ravens at the Titans. What did you get here for me, Detroit Dupes? He took Baltimore in this. I'm telling you this right now. I'm not taking Baltimore to come into the Titans and win. I'm taking the Titans at home to beat Baltimore.
This was the game where these two teams both surprised me. How does Baltimore keep winning, and how is Tennessee winning games? I'm trying to go to the Tennessee Patriots game at Tennessee up there in Nashville. I'm taking my wife up to Nashville, and they just happen to be playing the Patriots that weekend. How convenient, right? But I don't have my tickets yet because the tickets are too expensive. So I need the Titans to go on a little bit of a losing streak so it's not as expensive as a game for me to go to. But I've got the Ravens. Flacco keeps getting it done. I think Flacco's a better quarterback than Mariota. But we'll see. We'll see. This will be one of those good games, I think.
Chris, for the first time on this show, it might be the second time. It is the second time. Can I put in for a change?
Mm-hmm.
I can?
Yeah.
It's not legitimate yet because it hasn't happened yet.
It was written in pen, but that's okay. I can scribble.
Please scribble for me. I just remembered something that I seen when I was watching the game last week, and I liked it a lot. I just remembered when I seen this dynamic offense starting to take place where they're bringing their second-string quarterback in, Jackson. And it's really a game changer that I'm seeing, and they're starting to utilize it and learn how to utilize it. And along with the defense of Baltimore and this changing offense that is learning a dynamic of 2 quarterbacks here and when to put them in, when to use them properly, I'm going to go with Baltimore. Baltimore, congratulations. You're starting to look great. So I am going Baltimore.
All right.
Moving right along, Chris.
The Jacksonville Jaguars against the Dallas Cowboys.
Okay, I'm just going to go ahead right now and put it out there. Detroit Dupes called on the Jags to win this game. So he's telling me that the Jags are going to come in with the number 1 defense into Dallas Cowboys, whose defense is not too shabby. It's not why they're losing, really. They're losing because of their poor offense, but Dallas defense really isn't too shabby. I want to see kind of in their recent meetups here. Their last meetup that Dallas won was in 2014 against the Jaguars. So, I mean, the Jaguars got their name. Jacksonville, to me, is hot. They're hot. And I am also going to pick Jacksonville to go into Dallas and hit them right in the mouth, Chris.
Yeah, I have the Jags there too. I don't know if I said that already. The only concern there is their offense is getting beat up, but their defense keeps them in that game and wins that game.
You're right on the running game. They need help, but you're right. Okay,
All right, I'm going to skip the Sunday night game and go.
Why?
We're going to come back to it. 49ers at the Packers for the Monday night game.
Oh, let's see here. I got to skip what's going on here with the Detroit Dupes pick. And you're going into the 49ers at the Packers and Green Bay. He gave a little notes.
Oh.
Not on this game. So he's going to have something to say about that New England one you're saving too. He actually left. Wow. He actually left me some notes, which I'm surprised that I didn't see before. And we'll get to that. But as far as the 49ers at the Green Bay Packers, Detroit Dupes took Green Bay in that game. And I'll just tell you, Chris, what do you think about that?
You got to take Green Bay at home against the Niners. You got to take Green Bay.
You mentioned before Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers, right? And with me, I'm just going to tell you this right now. There's no way the 49ers are a team right now that are coming into Lambeau Field that are going to take out the Rodgers Green Bay Packers. It's just not helping. Just watch yourself on defense here, Green Bay. Just watch yourself on defense. Keep your emotions in control and learn how to play the defense with the new NFL rules so you don't penalize your team so much and help an offense march down the field on you strictly on penalties. You can still lay the quarterback down on his back, but you got to do it with a pillow, okay? You can still dip. We'll call it a dip now when you sack the quarterback. Sacking the quarterback in the NFL now is a dip, okay? So I'm talking to you, Matthews. Learn how to dip. Maybe you should take some ballet classes or something else and learn how to dip the quarterback. I'm taking the Green Bay Packers. Detroit Dupe took the Green Bay Packers. Chris is taking the Packers, and Chris has saved a little something special for you here to end the picks, Chris.
Like we said, we could talk for hours I could talk about this game for hours. It's the New England Patriots at home against the Kansas City Chiefs. I believe we lost the last time at home to the Kansas City Chiefs. Andy Reid always plays the Patriots well. He's a great offensive mind, obviously. They're a powerhouse on offense. Mahomes, does he scare me? Yeah, he scares me. Tyreek Hill, he scares me. Kareem Hunt, he scares me. Travis Kelce, he scares me probably more than anyone else on this team. I think he's a great tight end, better catching tight end than he is a blocking tight end, but he does scare me. Sammy Watkins, does he scare me? Not usually, but when he's your fourth option, that's a pretty scary fourth option for them. What do the Patriots do on defense to a team like this? I honestly have no idea. Who do you take out? Do you take out Mahomes? Try and take Mahomes' game out of it? Do you try and take Tyreek Hill's game out, the running game out of it? Do you stop Travis Kelce? Do you try and stop? Who do you stop on this team? I really don't know. I think what they're going to have to do is not let the long ball beat them. So they'll give up the short little dink passes, almost like a prevent defense. The Patriots bend, don't break, do your job. The ends have to hold their edges and keep them from getting outside. Keep Mahomes contained and get to him. They need to get a good pass rush on him, and let him beat you with a long ball here and there. You won't see the special teams could be huge in this game. I don't think you kick to Hill or punt to Hill. You kick it out of the end zone. You don't let him touch the ball on special teams. For the Patriots, what do they want to do? They want to run the ball with rookie Sony Michel, who's starting to get involved in this offense. They're going to throw the ball, little short passes to James White, maybe a little long ball to James White for a touchdown, which seems to be one of their plays with the linebacker covering him. They need to do exactly what teams that beat the Patriots have done to the Patriots. They need to keep the offense off the field. So time of possession is going to be huge in this game. I think the team with the highest team of possession wins this game. The one thing I think the Patriots have going for them is they've had 10 days to prepare for this game.
Yes, they
against
did.
Mahomes. John, we always joke stats are for losers. I saw a stat right before we started the show that against quarterbacks that are 25 and under, I believe it was at home, but I'm not sure if it was at home or just in general. The Patriots are 23-0. They haven't lost to a quarterback under 23, and they lost a quarterback at 25, which was Colin Kaepernick was the last quarterback in that age group that they lost to. The other stat I saw, which would kind of surprise me, at home against the AFC, when Brady and Edelman play, they are 36-0. 36-0 at home against the AFC when Brady and Edelman play. I'm just glad we have him back. I'm glad to have Edelman back. I think Hogan's going to be – he's questionable. I haven't seen if he's playing yet. I think Josh Gordon could have a huge role in this game, and I hope he does. I'm really excited to see what he can do for the Patriots.
Now, Chris, if you noticed, and I hope you appreciate it, I gave you your New England Patriot time there. I kept my mouth tight, zip shut there. I hope you appreciate that, Chris.
I'll be quiet. I'll let you speak about Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, and then when you're done, it's on.
Here you go. I know you don't like stats, but stats is part of the reason that we talk about 97% of the NFL. We talk about them because of stats. Here's a stat for you. The last 3 games, KC and New England. I'm not talking about how many wins your duo over there has, and they're 36-0. I'm telling you the last 3 times these teams met up, it's 2 out of 3 for KC. 2 out of 3. So the New England Patriots are actually 1-3 right now. The last 3 games played. It's just a stat. It's just a stat. And I know exactly what you're going to say, Chris. Don't be peeking at my notes, dude.
I was just trying to see where those games were.
It don't matter where they were.
No, sure it does. I would know one of them was at New England because I was at that game when they got crushed in the home opener by KC 2 years ago. That was embarrassing 2 years ago.
Couldn't do it, could you?
Keep going. Keep going.
1-3, those New England Patriots against the Kansas City Chiefs. And I'm telling you right now, here's the problem that they're going to face. The problem that New England is going to face today is that you're going up with a diverse offense. Not that New England's not a diverse offense, that they're not, okay? Not that New England gets a chance to go up against a horrible defense. I mean, KC is the worst when it comes to defense. It's a blessing to them that they have the quarterback they have that can score points, okay? The passing game is incredible. You got Hill that can make the big plays. And that's what this will come down to. Tom Brady, Edelman, all them, they can nickel and dime you all the way down the field. It's going to come down to the red zone defense and whatever it is. You're going to settle for a touchdown or a field goal. What are you going to get? You're going to settle for a field goal versus a touchdown. What are you going to do, Bill Belichick? Because that's what it comes down to. I said it to you earlier in the program. I'll say it to you again at the end of the program. You will see a helmet in slow motion bouncing down the sideline of the New England Patriots. And if you try to read his lips of Mr. Tom Brady, he'll be going. He does it all the time. You can read his lips. You know exactly what he's saying. You know what he's saying. Anyway, this game is the toughest one of yet for the Kansas City Chiefs. Okay? At this moment, I'm going to go to the message left by Detroit Dupes. Detroit Dupes. New England, he picked. Okay? This is what he picked. He says, this is the week we see why New England is New England. And the rest of the league isn't. He says, this is the week we see why New England is New England and the rest of the league isn't. That's quoted right from Detroit Dupes, word for word.
And he's not a Patriots fan.
He is not a Patriots fan. He then goes on to say, with that said, have a great show, guys. I will try to chime in later. Chime in where? The show starts at 10:30, I said. Where are you chiming in from? Actually, you know what we're going to do? I'll tell you right now what we're going to do. We're going to go live on Facebook from Leepa Live from Chris's place where we're watching the game. The game starts at 8:20. We're going to go live at 8 o'clock and preview the game. So Detroit Dupes, Rocco, we're calling on the Primo brothers. Redeem yourself, I said. We're calling on it. We're going to wrap this up. You're going to be able to call in later. Everybody, don't forget, if you have not yet liked us on Facebook, to like us on Facebook at Leepa Live. If you go to the website at leapalive.com, you go to leapalive.com, and you can register to be part of the show. Just don't forget, if you missed this show, you can catch the replay of this show every single time at leapalive.com. Chris, in closing, my friend.
You took the Chiefs there, right?
I did take the Chiefs.
All right, we're ready for some football. I can't wait. I wish it was a 1 o'clock game because this is going to be such a good game tonight. If you're a football fan, whether you're a Patriots, Chiefs, whatever team you're a fan of, you've got to be watching this game if you're a football fan.
Couldn't agree with you more. Another good show. We got to get out of here. Our intern Isabella has a softball game. An exciting day today. Everybody enjoy your NFL football. Once again, if you have not yet caught on to what we're doing here, this is a show from the fans' perspective. Chris, your little tagline.
For the fans, by the fans.
For the fans, by the fans. Tune in next time. We got our Thursday show at 7:30 p.m. Everybody enjoy your Sunday football. Chris and John, and we are out.
Go Patriots, go Red Sox.